Hey everyone, is making legendary items for Mesos the new way to go, or is it still better to go ahead and stick with selling uniques? That's what I want to go ahead and talk about in this video. I'll go ahead and answer the question right at the start. The answer is yes, you will make more Mesos by selling legendary items, but just because you'll make more Mesos doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the best choice for everybody, and that includes me. I know that's a little bit of a complicated answer, which is why I'm making this video, and I want to go ahead and tell you guys everything you need to know about making Mesos from leveling up epics and then fusing into uniques and selling those, versus doing the next step, which would be leveling up unique items and then fusing those and selling legendaries. Now, of course, we have to go ahead and take a look at the economy of the server because that's going to make a really big difference on this answer, and a lot of things have been changing in Maplestory M lately. Nexon made a really big change. I'm sure those of you guys who've been watching the videos for a few days, you guys know it, but if you missed it, even though I've actually sold all of these items, if I go and try to collect my Mesos, it's not going to let me take them for 6 hours until after the item has sold. It's definitely annoying that there's no timer either. It's just telling me I've got my Mesos there, but I can't collect them. I still gotta wait. And also, Nexon banned over 17,000 accounts just a couple of days ago. Lots of things have been happening, and this has had a pretty big impact on the economy of the game. Let's actually go and take a look at the price of unique capes, and you can see that it's gone down quite a bit since I made that fusing video from a few days ago. Explorer's capes and Pencilier capes are down to around 15 to 16 million Mesos, and Serious capes are down to 63 million Mesos. When I ended up making that fusing video where I made a whole bunch of unique capes, Serious capes were 80 million Mesos, and Explorers and Pencilier capes were around 20 million Mesos. So everything has been going down in price when it comes to uniques. Now that leads to the question that we want to talk about in this video is, what's the best way to make money through fusing? Is it still to go ahead and do what I've been doing for many videos now, which is max leveling epic items and then fusing them to get unique items? You can see in my inventory, that's pretty much what I'm saving. I have a lot of weapons, they're all max level epics. Or the next step, and what a lot of people have been doing, is it actually more profitable and more Mesos to max level unique equipment and then end up fusing uniques to get legendaries and sell those? Well, let's go ahead and break it down. There's a lot of things that you need to know about this, and the first and most important thing is what it actually takes to end up making a legendary versus making a unique, because it is a lot bigger of an investment. I'm going to go in and show you guys what is probably going to be the best website ever for Maplestory M. It is absolutely amazing. Another shout out to Lukishi. For those of you guys who don't have this website bookmarked, you definitely want to. It's essentially like the Maplestory M wiki. It's got everything you need to know about Maplestory M, including something that's going to be super helpful for this video, which, as you can see on the screen, is going to tell us all the dusts and materials that we need to get a piece of equipment to max level. Now, you'll see a whole bunch of numbers. Don't get confused. I'll explain everything, but we want to go ahead and focus on this number right here, which is how many epic powders it's going to take to get an epic to max level. Now, the next number that we want to focus on is this one right here, which is how many powders it's going to take to get a unique item to max level. As you can see, for an epic, it's going to take 120.88 powders to get it to max level, so essentially 121 powders, and for a unique to get it to max level, it's going to take 798.95, so 799. That's a pretty big difference. Also, something really cool is if you decide to use equipment instead of powder, it's going to take half as many as this number. So if you decide to use epic equipment instead of powder, if you want to get a max level epic, it's going to take 60.5 or 61 epic items. And if you want to get a unique to max level, it's going to take 399 epic items to level it up to max, so just half this number. Well, that's a big difference, 120.88 versus 798.95. This is something you definitely want to write down or keep in your mind, is it takes 6.6 times more experience, dusts, gear, material to level up a unique item than it does to level up an epic item. So to put this into perspective, if I were to go ahead and start leveling up a unique item and leveling up epic items both at the same time, by the time that I ended up getting a unique item to max level, which is going to be level 20 for a unique, I will have leveled up 6 epic items all to max level and almost a full 7th one, 6.6, so 6 2/3. So you can make a lot of max level epics for every one max level unique item. So it's a much bigger investment. And the same is true for weapons. It's still 6.6. It's just that weapons take about 20-25% more material to level up. So that's really important, and you definitely want to keep that in mind. That's going to be really important to know if you want to end up making profit from either unique items or for legendary items. Another really important thing is the actual cost of fusing. So this is just going to be for an epic. Of course, not only do you have to end up leveling up 2 pieces of equipment to max level, but when you go to the fusing screen, it also costs Mesos to go ahead and fuse it as well. Now, to make a unique item, it's not too expensive. It's only 1.6 million Mesos. But when you actually go ahead and you want to fuse to make a legendary item, not only are you going to end up needing 2 max level unique items, but it also costs 40 million Mesos to fuse as well. So that's something that you have to keep in mind and factor into your cost if you decide to go with selling legendaries instead of selling unique items. That, and one of the most important things, and something that is a little bit difficult to explain, but really important, it's something that I want to emphasize on, is even though it might be really tempting to go out there and take a look at the price of legendaries, let's just go back to capes because we've been looking at those for a while now. You can go ahead and see prices are so unbelievably high. 900 million Mesos for a Bloody Cape, 300 million Mesos for an Explorer's Cape, 300 million Mesos for a Pencilier's Cape. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other stuff. Let's take a look at weapons. Let's go to legendaries. Look at that. There's only one and it's almost 900 million Mesos. I mean, prices for legendaries are very high. Look at that. 1 billion Mesos for an Eclectic, 500 million plus Mesos for Muspel and Pencilier. Lots of Mesos. Very tempting, but the demand for legendaries in Maplestory M is not nearly as high as the demand for unique items. Because these items are so expensive, there's not really a ton of people out there who have billions and billions of Mesos to go around and buy tons and tons of legendaries. Now, they will still sell. Don't get me wrong. If you make legendary items, they absolutely will still sell, and they will sell for a lot of Mesos. Very close to these numbers that you're probably seeing up on the screen. But you have to be okay with that item taking a while to sell on the trade station. Now, with unique items, as you can see, I sell these pretty quickly. In fact, I'm almost done selling all the cloaks that I ended up making from a few days ago. I started with 15 of them, and just 2 days later, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've sold 9 capes in just 2 days. That's quite a few uniques sold in just a couple of days. I can guarantee you that if I had 15 legendary capes, I will not have sold 9 of them in just 2 days. So it's going to take a lot longer to end up selling your legendary items than your unique items. And keep in mind that in that time that it actually takes for you to sell your legendaries, a lot of things can happen. Prices might change, you might get undercut. It's just generally a much more difficult market to end up getting into. So if you don't really have that many Mesos to begin with, if you consider yourself maple poor, it's probably not the best idea to go ahead and start making legendaries to sell those, because it might be a really long time before you can actually end up selling the legendaries that you make. That means that a lot of the Mesos that you've invested into leveling up your unique equipment and then fusing it, you might not actually be able to get those Mesos back for a really long time. So if you do decide to go down the leveling unique equipment and fusing it into legendaries and then selling legendaries, you have to be okay with not getting those Mesos for a long time. Which is why for a lot of people, including for people like me, it's probably going to be better to stick with selling unique items and leveling up max level epics and then fusing those to get legendaries. Now, the last thing and the most important, at least for me, and the biggest point that I want to bring up when it comes to epic items, leveling those up, selling uniques versus selling legendaries, is emblems. When you end up fusing uniques into a legendary, it takes a lot more experience in order to level up those unique items. Once again, 6.6 times. That means you could level up almost 7 epics for every unique that you end up getting to max level. Because of that, you're just not going to be doing as many fusions in general. So if I were to go ahead and start doing uniques and leveling up uniques and fusing those, there would never be any videos of me doing fusing 50 unique items into 25 legendaries. It just takes way too many Mesos and equipment and material to level up unique items. You're just not going to get as many fusions done, which means that you're not going to have as many chances to actually get an emblem on your gear. Now, the chance of getting an emblem is very low. As you guys have seen, I'm almost at 100 fusions already, and I have not gotten an emblem yet. So it's a pretty low chance, but still, if you are hunting for emblem gear, this is one of the big reasons why people stick with fusing epics, is because you give yourself a lot more opportunity to try to chase and hunt down an emblem. Whereas if you decide to level up unique gear and fuse it into legendaries, because it takes so long to level up that unique gear and it's such a big investment, you're not going to be able to do as many fusions, which means you might not see as many chances to end up getting an emblem as you do with epics. So that is a lot of information, and once again, let me just go ahead and tell you guys the answer is yes, it is going to be more profitable. You will end up making more Mesos if you guys decide to spend a lot of time doing this. You know, taking a look at prices on the trade station, really learning the economy of your server. You will end up making more Mesos and more profit selling legendaries than you will selling uniques that you got through fusion, but it might not necessarily be the most reasonable depending on what your goals are with the game. And of course, it might take a really long time to end up selling your legendaries as well. So with that being said, I have thrown a lot of information at this video. If you're newer, you might have to end up going back, replaying parts of it or rewatching it. And if you guys have any questions about anything that I ended up saying in this video, please feel free to let me know in the comments section, of course. Definitely always looking for feedback or looking to help out. And if you guys want to talk on a more personal level, feel free to join the Discord server or go ahead and message me on Twitter. The links to both of those will be in the description. And with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a quick like. It helps out more than you can imagine. And we're getting very close to the end of September, which means that the September giveaway will be closing in about 9 to 10 days. So if you guys haven't entered that, the link is in the description. Only takes a quick second. All you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel, leave a quick like or comment on the giveaway video. That'll give you 3 tickets and 3 chances in order to win that 4,950 crystal giveaway for Maplestory M. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Have a fantastic day. Take care, everyone. And until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.